6 a.m. 60-year-old Aunt Zhang wakes up as usual. After a simple activity, he picked up the banana on the table. As part of breakfast, over the years, bananas have always been his old friends. On one hand, early friends told him that bananas can moisten the intestines and laxative, relieve constipation on the other hand. He also heard that bananas are rich in nutrients, good for the heart. However, just today, the habit of a banana a day. But let Aunt Zhang experience a thrilling moment. Not long after eating bananas, Aunt Zhang felt something was wrong. At first, it was an inexplicable panic. Then the whole body feels a little weak. He sat down to rest. But my chest is getting stuffy. It's like there's a big rock crushing against it. He was breathing faster. He wants to call his wife, but I can't make a sound. It turned black. The body fell to the side uncontrollably. My wife was shocked when she found out. Immediately dialed the 120 emergency number. Fortunately, the ambulance arrived in time. After emergency treatment by healthcare workers, Aunt Zhang turned the corner. When I woke up in the hospital, he saw the doctor's concerned and serious expression. The doctor advised, Aunt Zhang's body is sensitive to the potassium in bananas, overly sensitive. Eat less bananas in the future. Hearing this, Aunt Zhang looked stunned. Are bananas not considered a healthy fruit? Why is it wrong to eat bananas every day? Is it really necessary to stay away from bananas after the age of 60? Can bananas become harmful fruits? Don't rush to throw away all the bananas at home. We need to understand the two sides of bananas. The reason why bananas have always been considered a healthy food, because it is indeed rich. A variety of nutrients required by the human body. In the fruit family, bananas are one of the nutritional heroes. King of high potassium bananas are rich in potassium. Potassium is an indispensable mineral for the human body, helps maintain heart rhythm and muscle contraction. It also helps with balance. Sodium content in the body. It can combat the effects of salt on blood pressure. It lowers blood pressure. The role of protecting the heart. So many people with hypertension, it is recommended to consume more potassium-rich foods. Bananas are one of them. According to research statistics, moderate consumption of bananas can help reduce the risk of stroke. Good for cardiovascular health. Fiber. Home. Don't look at bananas, soft, waxy, and sweet. It's high in fiber. A medium banana contains approximately 2 to 3 grams of dietary fiber. Fiber can promote intestinal peristalsis, prevent constipation. This is also why many elderly friends use bananas as a natural laxative. For the elderly with a weak stomach, a banana after a meal. Delicious and digestive. Vitamins and trace elements. Bananas are also rich in vitamin B6. Vitamin C and nutrients such as enzymes. Vitamin B6. It is helpful for brain nerves and emotion regulation. Adequate B6 can help make synthesis enjoyable, relaxing neurotransmitter serotonin. And here's the interesting thing. Bananas also contain a tryptophan component. It's what makes serotonin. So there is a saying in the folk, eating bananas can improve your mood. Sleep soundly, of course. The tryptophan content in bananas is not high, but with the beauty in it, it may be beneficial for relaxing muscles and assisting with sleep. So some people who have insomnia or are in a bad mood eat bananas in moderation before bed. It is also a way to relax. From this, it seems, the nutritional value of bananas is quite outstanding. It is not an exaggeration to call it a healthy fruit. So what's the problem? No matter how good the food is, there are appropriate populations and constraints. The advantages of high potassium intersecting. For some groups of people, on the contrary, it may become a high potassium hazard. This is related to Auntie Zhang's situation. He fainted over a banana. The answer lies in the fake content of bananas and the elderly. Changes in the internal environment. Element A is important for young and healthy people. Mostly beneficial, because the kidneys of the human body are responsible excess nail is excreted. Keep potassium levels in the blood stable. But as we get older, especially after reaching the 60s, many of the elderly's kidney functions, it goes downhill. When young, it may be easy to excrete excess potassium from the body in a day. Kidney rate in old age. Function degradation. Decreased armor efficiency, if this time is still the same as before. High intake of foods high in potassium. Potassium ions in the blood can accumulate in excess. Once the blood potassium is not high, it's called hyperkalemia. This is Aunt Zhang's chest tightness at that time, the culprit of panic and even fainting. Excessive pseudo-ions interferes with the electrical signaling of the heart, cause arrhythmia. Heartbeat becomes irregular, too slow or even stops suddenly. Aunt Zhang's chest was stuffy at that time. Vertigo is a disordered heart rate. The manifestation of insufficient blood supply. Anything worse could lead to cardiac arrest. Life-threatening. No wonder the doctor reminded him solemnly, eat less bananas. In addition to the decline in kidney function caused by natural aging, some people suffer from chronic kidney disease or take certain medications, such as diuretics, Elderly people with antihypertensive drugs such as ACE inhibitors more susceptible to elevated blood potassium. Under these circumstances, be extra careful with the intake of the nail. Bananas are a common high-potassium fruit. In this population, it becomes a food that needs to be controlled. Hear. Many elderly people may be in trouble. Do you really want to be with your beloved banana in the future? Say goodbye. In fact, you don't have to stop eating because of choking. The banana itself is not wrong. The key lies in how you eat and how much you consume. The truth is that the vast majority of the elderly, you don't need to stay away from bananas completely, but learn to do it in moderation. Yeah, usually around 60. For the elderly with normal kidney function, it is safe to eat half a banana to a banana every day. It's healthy. Like eating half a banana in the morning with oatmeal, or eat a small banana as a snack in the afternoon. It's going to be okay. This amount of bananas brings potassium, about a few hundred milligrams. For people with normal kidney function, fully capable of handling, in fact, studies have found elderly hypertensive patients eat bananas several times a week, contribute to health and longevity. These benefits credit to bananas are rich in potassium and antioxidants, cardiovascular protection. So instead of rejecting bananas across the board, it is better to enjoy the benefits of bananas scientifically. Than like Aunt Zhang, because the banana is uncomfortable. Mainly for people with special constitutions. Elderly people with underlying diseases. The doctor recommended people with renal insufficiency. Limit your intake of A as directed by your doctor. If you have kidney problems, or a blood test found that the blood nail was too high, that really should be controlled. The amount of high potassium foods, including bananas, at the same time, elderly people who are taking drugs that affect their metabolism. It is also best to consult a doctor. Is it necessary to include in the diet? Fruits such as bananas are restricted. How to safely eat bananas. The first is not to eat too much at once. No matter how much you like it, don't eat 3 or 4 in a row. That's not good for anyone. The elderly can divide the banana into small pieces. Eat small amounts multiple times. If you are worried that eating bananas on an empty stomach will irritate the gastrointestinal tract or cause blood potassium fluctuations, you can choose to eat it half an hour after a meal. When fruit is consumed with a meal, fluctuations in blood sugar and electrolytes, it will be relatively gentle. In addition, you can choose bananas with moderate maturity. Taisheng's clear bananas contain a lot of soft acid. It may cause constipation. Too much sugar in overripe bananas is not good either. It is medium rare for blood sugar control. A banana with just a few small spots on the epidermis is ideal. Bananas are easy to digest at this time. Potassium and other nutrients are also in an appropriate state. So let's just say that 60 is not a sign for bananas to break up. It reminds us, enjoy it in a smarter way. Know your health status. Master the correct amount of food. Banana. It can still be a good partner in old age. Aunt Zhang also understood this truth when she was discharged from the hospital. He won't eat bananas every day from now on, but it won't blacklist bananas either. Eat properly. Plus regular checkups of kidney function. He can still benefit from bananas. You don't have to worry about being in an ambulance. After shaking hands with bananas, we also need to pay attention. Except for bananas, there are other fruits in life. For the elderly, it may be murderous. Some fruits look delicious, nutritious, but if eaten improperly, may also pose health risks. So let's take a look. 2 other fruits that need to be treated with caution. Speaking of fruits that require caution, the first thing that many people think of is durian, the famous king of fruits. Its unique smell and rich texture, people love and hate. Durian is prized in Southeast Asia. The nutritional value is also not interesting. It's rich in vitamin C, B vitamins, and minerals. High calories can quickly replenish energy. Some people say that durians are all treasures. The pulp is edible. The pit can also make soup. There is also a folk saying that there are 3 chickens in durian. Describe its nourishing effects. It sounds like durian is simply a meaningful tonic for the body. But there are limits. Durian has high nutrient density. Hidden dangers are also hidden in it, especially for the elderly. Some characteristics of durian can be health traps. First of all, durian is a rare fruit high in sugar and fat. General fruits mainly provide vitamins and fiber. Not high in calories. Durian is different. The flesh is about 13 to 15% sugar. That is to say, 100 grams of durian contains 15 or 16 grams of sugar, so what does that mean? Almost the sugar content of 2 or 3 durians. That's the equivalent of the total sugar in a can of Coke. And the sugar of durian is mainly glucose and sucrose. After entering the body, it will be absorbed. Let the blood sugar skyrocket. For some blood sugar, it is already high. Or the elderly with diabetes. A piece of sweet durian may let blood sugar break through the safe range. Except for sugar, durian also contains considerable fat. It tastes creamy and sweet. It is because of the fat content, much higher than the average fruit. 100 grams of durian pulp contains nearly 5 grams of fat. Much of it is saturated fat. Excessive saturated fat intake raises blood cholesterol levels, increased risk of cardiovascular disease. An elderly person, slow down metabolism, if you often eat a lot of durian, may face weight gain. Consequences of elevated blood lipids, a combination of high sugar and high fat. Yes, I have coronary heart disease. For elderly people with diabetes, you add fuel to the fire. Let's use a life force. Let's look at the risk. Uncle Lee, who lives in Guangzhou, is 65 years old this year. Blood sugar is usually a little high. Once my son came from outside, brought back several top varieties of durian. As a tribute, Uncle Lee is happy. Anyone comes after dinner, I ate half a durian at once. Durian is soft and glutinous. Melt in your mouth. The more he ate, the more addicted he became. I completely forgot I had diabetes. As a result, he felt dry mouth that night. Fatigued, keep running to the toilet. Family members quickly measure blood sugar. His blood sugar levels were found to be well above the normal range. We had to take him to the hospital overnight. The doctor diagnosed an acute hyperglycemic reaction. Simply seek medical attention. No more serious diabetes complications. This time Uncle Lee was stunned. He never thought of that. A durian dinner nearly put me in the emergency room. This is a cautionary tale. Durian is good. Don't be greedy. The elderly must control the amount when tasting durian. The nutritionist's advice is, each time you eat durian, you should not exceed 100 grams. It's about 2 or 3 pieces of pulp. And it is best not to eat durian on an empty stomach. Eat lots of high-sugar fruits on an empty stomach. Blood sugar rises more rapidly. At the same time, durian is sticky, not easy to digest. Eating large amounts on an empty stomach may cause stomach distension. The correct way is to treat durian as dessert. Just enjoy a few bites. This will satisfy the appetite, without placing too much burden on the body. There's a saying some of you may have heard. If you eat too much durian, you will get angry. Getting angry in traditional Chinese medicine refers to the symptoms of dryness and heat, sore throat, constipation, etc. In fact, from the perspective of modern nutrition, getting angry to some extent corresponds to excessive heat intake, the body's reaction to the amount of sugar. Eat too much durian, heat accumulation, metabolic disorders in vivo, naturally prone to various discomforts. In particular, people with high blood pressure or cardiovascular problems. Too much durian can make your heart beat faster, blood pressure fluctuation, feeling hot and uncomfortable. This matches the description of getting angry. Another widely circulated reminder is, durian should not be eaten with wine. Folklore has it that eating the two together can lead to poisoning, even sudden death, although this statement is somewhat exaggerated, but it's not groundless. Certain ingredients in durian, it may affect the metabolism of alcohol. Let the effects of alcohol increase. There are reports that, after some people eat a lot of durians and drink alcohol, symptoms of alcoholism. So just to be safe, the elderly should avoid durian with wine. Alcohol itself is not good for the elderly. Okay, plus the burden of durian, no doubt make things worse. Now, we're not trying to demonize durian. In fact, durian is rich in nutrients, such as vitamins and antioxidants. Proper intake is still good for the body. For elderly friends who love durian, no need to touch it at all. The key is to stop. Eat less at a time. Don't eat every day. Not to mention other high-sugar, high-fat foods are consumed in large quantities at the same time. For example, the day I ate durian, the staple food or sweet spot should be reduced appropriately to balance total calorie intake, or simply share a small piece of durian with your family. Divide into several parts. The whole family has a taste. This way, everyone's intake is very limited. It also enhances family fun. The allure of durian is irresistible, but in order not to turn the delicious into a scourge, the elders must keep their mouths shut. Take it easy and enjoy this king of fruits. Remember that even the most delicious fruit, excessive consumption can be a health risk. Take control. Durian can still a touch of sweetness in your life, rather than develop into a tragedy that requires an ambulance. That's it, full durian. And then we have a look at something that's not amazing, but fruit lychees that also need to be treated with caution. Every summer, red lychees on the market, always drooling. Lychee meat is crystal clear, sweet and juicy, a much-loved addition since ancient times. A sentence by the Tang Dynasty poet, a writing concubine laughs. No one knew it was lychee. Poured into concubine Yang Guifei's love for lychees. Sudongpo also has Xiunsun nitrogen lychee 300. Be a Lingnan native. It can be seen that the ancients respected and loved lychees. You have to take hundreds of them every day. However, if the exaggerated words in the ancient poetry are taken seriously, a bit dangerous today. I really eat 300 lychees a day. Don't say ordinary people can't bear it. For the elderly, I'm afraid I've emptied my blood sugar and body long ago. Lychees are not big. At first glance, it doesn't seem as fierce as durian. Lots of calories and sugar. But actually, lychee is an uncompromising high-sugar fruit. The sugar content of fresh lychees is about 15%. That is to say, about 10 lychees. It is equivalent to eating nearly 30 grams of sugar. These sugars, mainly a mix of fructose and glucose. Very sweet. Very fierce. Because fructose is metabolized in the liver, easily converted to fat and uric acid. Glucose directly raises blood sugar. For older friends, there are two main pitfalls to be aware of. One is the risk of elevated blood sugar. The elderly islet function and insulin sensitivity, often inferior to young people. Reduced ability to regulate blood sugar. Eating too many lychees at one time will cause blood sugar to rise rapidly in a short period of time. Although lychees are slightly better than pure candies. Contains a small amount of fiber and vitamin C. But the blood sugar fluctuations caused by high sugar, still interesting, especially those who already have diabetes or the elderly with high blood sugar. Eat a lot of lychees may lead to uncontrolled postprandial hyperglycemia. Clinically, every summer, there is no shortage of lychees because of excessive leads to high blood sugar, even cases of ketoacidosis. Some elderly people believe that fruits are natural, not as unhealthy as cake candy. So he ate dozens of lychees without hesitation. The result is extreme thirst. Symptoms of hyperglycemia, such as fatigue, have to go to the hospital for help. It can be seen that the natural sugar intake is too much. It also places a burden on the body. The second is the hidden danger of uric acid and gout. Many people know seafood. Older foods like beer can raise uric acid, gout. But I didn't expect sweet fruits to have this problem. The fructose contained in lychees, there's an age in metabolism, and further converted to uric acid. If you consume a large amount of fructose in a short period of time, uric acid levels may spike. Induced gout attack, especially when uric acid is already high, or the elderly with a history of gout. Beware of the sweet trap of lychee. Once upon a time, there was an Aunt Zhang suffering from gout for many years. The control is fairly stable. Once his granddaughter peeled him a large plate of lychees, Aunt Zhang ate happily. It didn't take 2 days. Red, swollen, and painful big toe joint. Gout comes to the door again. He was puzzled that he hadn't eaten seafood or beer recently. Why does gout come at a time? The doctor asked about the diet and pointed out the culprit was the excessive amount of lychees he ate that Aunt Zhang suddenly realized. It turns out that eating too much fruit will also cause trouble. So is it older people? Stay away from lychees. And it doesn't have to be that extreme. Lychee has many advantages as well. It's rich in vitamin C, good for boosting immunity. Eating in moderation is good for the body. The key still lies in controlling the amount and eating method. The advice doctors and nutritionists give to the elderly is, it is best to consume no more than a dozen lychees per day. That is to say, a handful of lychees is enough to satisfy your cravings. Don't snack on a whole basket of lychees. If you accidentally eat too much, other high-sugar foods that day, such as sweet drinks, pastries should be avoided as much as possible. To avoid excessive total sugar intake, another tip is not to eat lychees on an empty stomach. You can choose to eat it after a meal or with a snack. So the fiber and protein in food, it slows down the absorption of sugar. Blood sugar doesn't go too high all at once. There is a folk saying that lychees are drunk on an empty stomach. Wine refers to eating a lot of lychees on an empty stomach. There will be a feeling of dizziness and weakness. This is actually related to blood sugar fluctuations. Some people eat too many lychees on an empty stomach. Instead, hypoglycemia symptoms. It feels like the worst. It's also a physical alarm signal. So remember, lychee is delicious. It's definitely not okay to eat on an empty stomach. For the elderly with gout or high uric acid, strictly control lychees. Intake of high fructose fruits. You can drink plenty of water on weekdays to help uric acid when eating lychees. Pair it with some well-hydrated other fruits, such as watermelon. Fruits that are low in sugar and high in water, such as strawberries. Dilute total fructose concentration. Or just put the lychee as a small part of a fruit platter. Just satisfy your cravings. Do not eat large amounts alone. It is worth mentioning that, except for lychees, grape longan, fruits such as raisins are also high in sugar. Similar attention is also required. For example, grapes contain about 16 grams of sugar per 100 grams. And mostly direct glucose. The effect of raising blood sugar is very rapid. Many elderly people like to eat iced grapes in summer. I accidentally ate a bunch of them. Blood sugar may exceed the standard. Longan and lychee are relatives. Sugar is also amazing. Enough is enough. In short, those fruits that are particularly sweet and strong, the content of dandelion is not low. The elderly must not enjoy it without restraint. The sweetness of lychee, the fragrance of durian, the soft waxy of bananas, they each have their own good. It's irresistible. But we also saw the elderly's physical condition is different from that of young people. Eating too much of certain fruits can be dangerous. Don't forget that you don't want to take the ambulance often. It's based on smart choices about what we eat, rather than not eating out of fear. Saying so much, maybe you ask, are you getting old? Are you still so particular about eating fruit? It's not just fruit. Any year, all age groups need to pay attention to a balanced and moderate diet. It's just that the elderly are more fragile. Just be more careful. We discussed bananas, durian, lychee. These 3 examples. It's not to scare people into walking away. I wanted to convey the message. Food itself is neither good nor evil. The crux of the matter is how to eat it. Bananas are rich in potassium and fiber. Moderate intake can protect cardiovascular disease, promote digestion. But be careful with people with reduced kidney function. Durian is nourishing and delicious. Small pieces are not allowed to taste the stomach, but overeating can make blood sugar and lipids out of control. Lychee is rich in C. It's good for immunity. Eating a few occasionally is a great pleasure in life. Can eat a generation. There is a risk of health problems. It can be seen that fruit is not simply good or bad, like 2 sides of the same coin. The key is how we balance. How can we enjoy fruit while maintaining good health? Here are some suggestions for middle-aged and elderly friends. Master the weight. Remember the principle of moderate daily fruit intake. Generally speaking, 200-350 grams of fruit per day. Fractionable is an ideal quantity. Don't eat a certain fruit just because it's good. And don't just because you hear something risky. Just don't touch it at all. Don't eat too much of a single fruit at a time. Mix. It is better to eat different kinds of fruits together. Pick the right time. Try to avoid eating a lot of sweet fruits on an empty stomach. Serve fruit as dessert after dinner, or extra meals between meals are most appropriate. This will avoid sudden ups and downs in blood sugar, like a small dish of fruit salad after a meal. Swallow a few chunks of durian on an empty stomach, much more secure, according to your own situation, according to your health status. Choose the type of fruit and how to eat it. If you have kidney disease, reduce high-potassium fruit bananas. Intake of oranges, dragon fruits, etc. If you have diabetes or high blood sugar, prefer fruits with lower sugar content. Apple, for example. Grapefruit enzyme high-sugar fruits should be strictly limited. People with cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases like avocados. It is not advisable to eat too much. Know your own physique. To choose the most suitable fruit friend for you. Hear professional advice. Regular physical examination. Pay attention to blood sugar, lipoic acid, kidney function, and other indicators. If your doctor targets one of your indicators, dietary recommendations must follow carefully. For example, the doctor reminds you that your blood potassium is a little high. Then you have to be right about bananas in your diet. Coconut water, etc. Wait a minute. Strictly control intake. You may also wish to consult a nutritionist. Get some fruit alternatives. Professional guidance can help you eat with greater peace of mind. After all, fruits are delicious gifts from nature. The elderly eat fruit properly. It is beneficial to health without any harm. It's never the fruit itself that we need to be wary of. It's about eating irrationally. After today's discussion, I hope you understand. There is no absolutely harmful fruit, only the wrong way to eat. When we approach diet with a scientific attitude, so-called taboo, maybe it will become a little blessing in life. Let me end with a simple phrase. Delicious fruits always accompany moderate and diverse longevity. Wishing every elder can enjoy delicious food at the same time. Stay healthy and live a long life. Bananas are fine. Durian. Likewise for lychees. Let them add sweetness to your life. Rather than becoming a burden, master the scale. Fruity life is still wonderful.